This is Fred Barstein with this week's edition of Fred Talks. And today we're fortunate to have one of the industry leaders. He is Jim Hageney, from co-founder and principal at Centurion Group. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you very much.
Centurion is one of the leading defined contribution consulting firms with $16 billion of assets under management. But more importantly, they really are one of the innovators of bringing together retirement, healthcare, all different facets, and work with large companies, small companies on it. So we're very, very fortunate to have him today. And today I wanted Jim to talk about, we are going through a revolution of the fees structure. And initially it was just how much are they reasonable, and all of that, but we've gone a little bit deeper. So Jim, could you talk about some of the changes you're seeing and with participants and plan sponsors and reviewing fees and the benefits?
Sure, Fred. Thank you. What we have been looking for recently is to really do a deep analysis in terms of how much each participant is paying, and not only just in revenue sharing, but also their investment fees. In this area of fee compression, we have really concentrated on trying to evaluate and determine how much each participant is paying for their investment costs, but also for their record-keeping costs, to make sure for a plan sponsor that those fees are in fact reasonable and can be defined. And we are able to do that through some analytical software we've developed, specifically getting down to each and every participant.
Right. And we want why is fee equalization, especially just on the revenue sharing side, make sense?
Well, in our mind, we feel that there are different ways to pay for record-keeping services, and those can be either a flat dollar per participant, they can be an asset-based fee, or they can be a hybrid of both. Historically, we've always been in some sort of revenue sharing, and that's what those fees tend to be unequal, where depending upon where you invest your money, they may have different revenue sharing amounts. And what we're trying to do is educate the plan sponsor committee on the fact that you can equalize those fees.
Right.
And by doing so, you may be able to find efficiencies, reduce costs, but also a more reasonable way for participants to share in the overall cost of record keeping.
A more fair way. And then can you explain a little bit more about what's this hybrid approach?
Sure. In our practice, we will evaluate record-keeping fees in both either a flat dollar per participant or an asset-based fee, where when you have a large dichotomy of plan participants, some with very high average account balances and some with very low average account balances, it becomes unfair for a small balanced participant to pay a flat fee, let's say.
Because it's a big percentage overall, right?
Exactly. And on the other hand, you have some participants with very high average account balances that may be paying extraordinary amounts of record-keeping fees. So therefore, the hybrid approach is actually a combination of both. Maybe a small flat dollar per participant and then a lower asset-based fee, so that through this software that we've developed, it really creates some clarity for the plan sponsor committee to see the effects of all three different methodologies.
So it's maximizing. So you might say up to a $50,000 account balance, you're paying a percentage, and then over that you might pay a flat fee.
Exactly. Or it could be the opposite. You could have a flat fee and then everyone pays the same asset-based amount. But we can model those, a combination, so we can model those and determine and provide that information for the committee.
Very good. Well, to plan sponsors, you really need to be looking at not fees, not just for reasonable, but how do you maximize the benefit for the participants. So thanks for your time today, Jim.
Thank you, Fred.
And thank you for watching Fred Talks.